Hello everyone, welcome to today's leg workout and voiceover. If you are new to my channel or you enjoy my content but you have not subscribed yet, please consider clicking that subscribe button. Not only because it helps out my channel grow and to reach more people that otherwise might not find my videos, but because I put out 3 free videos each week and I don't want you to miss out on the empowering content that you can apply to your fitness and health journey. So if you are watching this video and you're not just listening, I will place all the exercise names and information on the screen. But I do have a more important topic to discuss than the leg workout today, and that is fat loss. Specifically, my fat loss journey over the past 6 months and how I've been so successful and how you can apply some of these same techniques I use to be successful in your fat loss journey. So, if you do want to see the complete workout, please look in the description box below. I will have everything listed out there, or you can wait till the end of the video and you can screenshot. I'll just have all the exercise there. You can screenshot the workout from there, and that way you can use it when you're in the gym and you don't have to go back through the whole video. So, okay, let me give you some statistics for my starting point of this bikini bodybuilding prep and where I am currently, which is at the time of this video, the 22nd of April 2017, maybe the 21st. I don't know if I'm gonna get this video out tonight or tomorrow morning. I'm 2 weeks out from my second show of the season, May 6th, the California Night of Champions, or championships in San Diego, California. I'm super, super excited. But don't worry, if you are not a bikini bodybuilder or you don't consider yourself to be an athlete and you just want tips to be healthier, this information is pertinent to you as well. So make sure you stick around. Okay, I reached my highest weight within my bodybuilding journey on my last maintenance season in October of 2016. I was on average about 132 to 133 pounds at this point in time, and I was approximately 28% body fat. At least that's what my Fitbit scale said. Current day, like this morning, I was 114 pounds, and I've kind of been around 114, 115 pounds the past 2 weeks, just depending on the day, and it is mid-April 2017. And then my Fitbit scale says I'm at 20% body fat right now. So there's no exact precise method of measuring body fat. Usually calipers or like a DEXA scan are a little bit more accurate, so they say, than others, but as long as you find a type of scale that you enjoy using and you're consistent with it, that is what is most important. So find a method that you like and stay consistent with it for your own progress and accuracy. Now let's kind of rewind back up a little bit and talk about where I started. So I competed in 3 bikini bodybuilding shows in 2015, the last of which finished in November of 2015. I don't know what my body fat was at the time, but I do know that I was weighing in around 117, 118 pounds at the time. So what did I do between November of 2015 and December of 2016 that caused me to put on weight? I did what was called a reverse diet, and this was absolutely intentional. The point and the purpose was to put on some size, to put on lean body mass, but minimize fat gain and get my metabolism back in shape. So to rehabilitate my metabolism. So I follow currently what is called a flexible dieting lifestyle, which means I take calorie counting to the next level and I track my macronutrients. So within calories, you have macronutrients, your fats, your carbs, and your protein intake. Reverse dieting is the opposite of dieting. So instead of focusing on losing weight and decreasing the amount of food you're eating and increasing your cardio, you're focusing on decreasing your cardio and increasing the amount of food that you're eating. So the weight gain was absolutely intentional. So I would not, and you will not be able to optimize or even put on much lean muscle mass if you don't eat more food and increase your calories and decrease your cardio, okay? It's a hard mindset to wrap your brain around, but that is the reality of all of this, okay? So this is definitely counterintuitive considering what most females have been taught our whole lives. We're taught to do more cardio and eat less food to lose weight, and that only works to a certain extent. So at some point, you don't have time for more cardio, you don't have more time to be in the gym, your body's probably hit a plateau, you've adapted to the amount of exercise you're doing, whether that's lifting or cardio, and you just aren't eating enough to fuel your body enough to make progress in the gym. Or how about not fueling your body enough to function in your daily life? How many of you have kids? How many of you have a husband or a wife or a 9-to-5 job or another job that requires you to be in a mental state where you actually have to think and function? If you can't do that, you might want to take a look at how much energy you're expending in the gym and how much food maybe you're not eating, and maybe make a change. You probably need to make a change if something you're doing is not working. While we might look really, really great when we're lean because having this low body fat is showing off your muscles that you've worked hard to build, we're really weak at this point. If you want beautiful big muscles to show off, you have to build them, and you have to take time to build them. They don't just show up overnight. They don't just show up because you went into a dieting phase. You have to take time to build up your muscles so that when you eventually go into a dieting phase, the muscles that you have built are being shown off. So it's a process. You have to build, and then you have to lean down, and then you have to build, and then you have to lean down. You can't really do much at the same time. It is possible, but we can talk about that in a totally different video. So to build your muscles, you've got to give your body some rest from the gym. You've got to eat more food to fuel your workouts and your daily life. And I'm not saying you need to cut out all cardio immediately. I'm not saying you need to add 500 calories to your diet. I'm saying you need to do these things slowly. You need to slowly taper off cardio and slowly add calories into your diet in the proper proportions of macronutrients. At the time I ended my last show in 2015, I was not tracking my macronutrients. I was on a healthy eating meal plan, which just did not work for me long term. But I started to gain an interest in how all these women and men on YouTube that I was watching during my extended cardio sessions were able to eat whatever they wanted and still look shredded on stage. I wanted that. I was intrigued. I didn't understand, so thus I started doing some research. I tried to kind of reverse diet myself and just didn't feel like I had a very good grasp of it well enough on my own, so I hired an online coach, which is ironically what I do now, and I love it because of the progress you see people make when they increase their calories and decrease their cardio and then lose weight. And that's not the case with everybody, but it's amazing. It's so cool. I love what I do. Anyway, so I started officially tracking my macronutrients, and I started a flexible nutrition lifestyle in the spring of 2016. So in about April of 2016, I was eating per day about 130 grams of protein, 225 grams of carbohydrates, and 45 grams of fat. Between April 2016 and October 2016, my coach and I slowly increased the amount of food I was eating. My protein stayed at 130 grams per day, but my carbohydrates, we slowly increased up to 320 grams per day, and my fats increased up to 60 grams per day. So over the course of 6 months, that's a long time, we increased. So we increased my carbohydrates about 10 to 15 grams per month, or about 4 grams per week. So that's pretty slow. That's a pretty small amount over a long period of time. And then we increased my fat grams by about 3 grams per month. The caveat here is, this is not to say that for you to achieve my results, you should do what I did and manipulate your numbers exactly like we did mine, because you are not me and your body is not like mine. Just like if I tried to follow your plan, it would not work for me because it was not made for me. Keep that in mind as you're listening here, okay? The amount you increase or decrease your numbers depends on your own body and how you handle adaptations. And this is where intuitive coaching really comes into play, because there's not a set rule book or research yet on how to manipulate these numbers for an individual person. Now, I know a lot of you are wondering about sugar intake versus starchy carb intake or fiber intake with the carbohydrate category. There is no research yet to suggest how much sugar or starch each person individually should consume per day. And from what I've read in other people's experiences and success stories, and from what I've witnessed in myself and my own clients' successes, as long as they hit their fiber goal, the ratios of sugar to starch, they don't really matter too much. And unless you have like a specific medical circumstance or a food intolerance, there's no rhyme or reason as to why you should have more sugar carbs versus starchy carbs. But the daily suggested intake for the average adult as far as fiber goes is 14 grams per 1,000 calories that you're intaking per day. So for me right now, I'm intaking about 15 to 1,600 calories per day. I need to get somewhere around 20 grams of fiber per day, maybe 25 on the high end. But I'll let you guys do the math on your own to figure out how much that is for yourself. As far as cardio and lifting has gone, I've continued to lift 4 to 5 times per week, but my cardio sessions have fluctuated. So at the end of my show season in 2015, I was doing about 45 minutes of high intensity interval training cardio about 5 times per week, and then 2 to 3 steady state sessions per week at about 30 minutes at a time. We slowly tapered my cardio down, and by the time I was at my highest point of eating in my improvement season, I was only doing about 10 minutes of HIIT cardio, like 3 to 4 times per week, just depending on the week. I don't like to personally eliminate cardio completely because it makes me feel good. I like to get out and move. My job is rather sedentary. Other than actually being at the gym, I am sitting at my computer working a lot during the day, so I like to have that cardio somewhat consistently, even if it's just low intensity, steady state cardio. But this is up to you. If you enjoy more cardio or less cardio, find what works to you and taper off of it somewhat, but you don't have to eliminate it completely. Now let's fast forward to current day. So I've dieted now for about 6 months, and I'm currently intaking 145 grams of protein, 160 to 210 grams of carbohydrates depending on the day, and that includes my like 15 to 20 grams of fibrous carbs for sure, and then 30 grams of fat per day. So it's about 15 to 1600 calories depending on my high carb versus low carb days. When I was at my highest point, and I already read you guys those macros, that was about 23, maybe 2400 calories a day, just for kind of a reference there. I'm currently doing now similarly to increasing my calories slowly over time. My coach has also decreased my calories slowly over time, but the technique has been a little bit different. So instead of trying to slowly increase each week, we'll kind of decrease like 20 to 30 grams of carbohydrates and maybe 5 to 10 grams of fat, not on the same weeks, and will get me into a calorie deficit and see some movement on the scale for a couple weeks, and then whenever I hit a plateau for a week or so, then we will look at either adjusting to increase the cardio or to decrease the calories, but generally not the same on the same week. Or generally not both on the same week. So it just depends. It's really an intuitive coaching kind of thing. But just think, if you were eating 2,300 calories a day and you went, you know what, I need to be on a diet, I'm going to drop 1,000 calories, or I'm going to drop, 800 calories. So you go down to 1,500 or 1,600 calories and you see really awesome progress for a couple weeks, and then you plateau. What happens at that point? What happens when you plateau and you're that low in calories? How low are you willing to go? How much more can you cut out of your diet or add into your day of cardio and working out until you don't have any more time to add into the gym, until you can't think because mentally you can't function and your hormones are not working properly? That's why this has to be done in slow increments. So if you've been on like 1,500 or 1,600 calories and that's low for you, if you've been there for months and months and months and you're not seeing progress, I think I know why. You might need to take your mindset and shift it back a little bit and realize that you don't have anything else to pull from, and you need to reverse your mindset and maybe increase your food and decrease your activity levels to get your metabolism rehabilitated a little bit, to get your body back into a balance before you can go back into a dieting phase, okay? If I had plateaued early on and not had anything else to manipulate as far as those things went, I would not have made much more progress. So you get to a point in your weight loss journey where there just isn't anything else to take away from, and your mindset just has to shift. So it doesn't mean that you can't go back into a dieting phase. It doesn't mean that you have to be in a surplus forever. It just means that you need to do it for a little bit of time, and that time is different per person. It just depends on the person. But obviously, if something you're doing isn't working, change what you're doing. I don't care what you change, but change what you're doing. So currently I'm 114 pounds. I know I can be leaner than what I am right now. And that doesn't mean necessarily losing weight. That might mean putting on lean muscle mass. So I know that if I want to do that at the end of this season, I have to increase my calories. I have to decrease my cardio. I have to put on some size. And this season, I look sharper and I look leaner than I did in my previous season. But the goal is always to improve, right? So I'm excited to go into this next phase. I'm excited to eat more. I'm excited to have more energy. I'm excited to lift heavier weights because I want to bring a leaner, tighter package in during my next phase. So not during my maintenance phase, but I have to build during my maintenance phase, or my next cutting phase is not going to be as optimal. And like I said, I don't care about the number on the scale. If I come back next year and I can't get lower than 116 pounds, but I have put on more lean muscle mass and I look more shredded on stage, super happy about that. That would be a huge, awesome goal for me to accomplish. So, I mean, in my next improvement season, my goal is going to be to get up to about the same weight that I was at my highest point in the last season, but to be lifting heavier weights and eating more food. Because if I'm eating more food in the next maintenance season, that means I will have to cut calories less in my shredding season. Does that make sense? Comment below if it does or if it doesn't make sense, so that I know that I'm getting my point across to you guys. Alright, so do I want to continue dieting for a few more months and decrease my calories anymore or increase my cardio? Not particularly. Something has to give. There has to be a sacrifice somewhere, and personally I'm not willing to sacrifice much more this season. It's simply not worth it when I have other priorities and mentally I need to be able to think and function in my life. Again, I know you guys all have goals and things in your life that you're focused on, and fitness may not be the sole aspect of your life, and that's okay. That's absolutely okay. But you do need to objectively take a look at what you have going on and what your goals are, and figure out how much you personally are willing to sacrifice to get to your weight loss goals or to get to your muscle gaining goals. You have to be honest and objective with yourself. Alright, yeah, I've definitely thrown a lot of information y'all's way. Please connect with me down in the comment section. Shoot me an email if you have any questions about reverse dieting or flexible nutrition, and I will answer your questions. Please put your stories of reverse dieting or weight loss down in the comment section. You never know who your story is going to inspire, and hearing your stories inspires me. So please put that down in the comment section, or even shoot me an email if you just don't want anybody else to see it, but you would like to share that with me. I would love to hear your stories. For those of you who made it to the end of this video, thank you so much. I truly appreciate your support. If you are looking for some coaching, I am offering coaching online right now for fitness and nutrition, so shoot me an email, let me know what you're interested in. And again, please consider subscribing to my channel, as I do offer free tips and tricks for you to put into effect towards your weight loss or your muscle gain journeys. You don't have to put your body through unhealthy extremes to achieve your long-term fitness and health goals. You just don't. Fad diets aren't going to work. Quick fixes are not going to make you happy in the long run. So the bottom line here is you have to find something that long-term works for you. So hopefully that's flexible dieting, and I can help you with that. If not, and it's something else, that's fantastic. Find what works for you. I truly encourage you and empower you to go do that. So until next time, you guys, be empowered to go and make a change in your lives and take the next step on your fitness and health journey. Love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next video. Fitness Empowerment by Danny, a brand dedicated to flexible nutrition, macronutrient tracking, and a lifestyle without unhealthy extremes.